We expect our students to really apply themselves. We expect our students to take their studies seriously. And we help our students with that part by helping them realize how relevant their studies are to their surroundings and to help them connect what they're studying to their future career as a professional or, college student.
Education in our country, and I think across the planet, has a primary goal to be for students. Schools are to be for students. But there's been a paradigm shift since 1983 and the publication of A Nation at Risk. Students are supposed to be for schools. And what that means is that they are supposed to be those elements of our society that are now supposed to be categorized as the workers, as the producers, in this case the score producers. And so because of that paradigm shift, there has been a significant impact on students. Why do I go to school? In the past, the paradigm has been that you're going to school to be a lifelong learner so that you can choose among a whole set of options of what you want to do in your life. And so the public school systems were set up to provide those options. Now it's been changed. The paradigm now is that the schools are supposed to produce students who can engage in the workforce so that they can become producers for corporations. And so students now are essentially, schools are now essentially producers of workers. And consequently, those that are going to hire the workers want the most significant say-so in how schools should be doing this. And so what they attempting to do is to find a way in which we can determine who is learning and who is not learning. But what's happened is that now the test has become the driver. It is the goal. We've now substituted to the student. We've said now your goal here is to pass test. Your goal is not to become creative. Your goal is not to become an engaged learner. Your goal is not for lifelong learning for whatever purpose you want to be, whether or not you want to work in the corporate world or not. Your goal is to produce scores. And so as a result of that, students and teachers are focused on producing scores.
In order to prepare kids for our society, they need to begin to think outside of the box and initiate things and think of starting things like what they will have to do when they're adults, businesses, right? They'll have to be innovative and thoughtful. That's how we are very good as a society. That's how we're very different from other societies. We're innovative, we're thoughtful, we're out of the box, we're new thinkers, and yet the curriculum does not support that. The current curriculum supports a correct answer. A, B, C, or D. What is that correct answer? So, yeah, China is moving more towards being more artistic, more thinking about oral expression, more thinking about physical education, and we are thinking more about keeping our students inside the box and not being successful in a capitalist society. So I think that's another thing that we need to work on.
How do programs like this that teach a craft, how do they make high school or public education relevant to your students?
I have several students that I could call in anytime you'd like and speak with them that have actually told me if they did not have auto or did not have welding or ag, would not come to school. They don't care about a lot of the other stuff that we seem to put so much value on. They're looking for a future that they can make some money, raise a family, and be comfortable in what they do. And they need to have that pride. We kind of take that away from them when we pull this out of their hands. We make them feel that this is demeaning them, and frankly, they're wrong. The system is wrong. This actually helps children. I have students who come in who have actually told me, I wouldn't be here today taking the math, doing the science, if I didn't have auto. I would stay home.
Do you think that if more programs like this were available to students that the high school dropout rate would go down?
I truly do. We have people who are dropping out because they have no hope. They have no place to go. They've been forced to learn things that really is irrelevant to them, Many of the students that come in here are looking to place themselves in the job force. And unfortunately, the job force, like automotive, welding, they're losing these people. People are retiring, people are dying, and the people who can actually do it are not there.
What would you say to opponents of programs like these who say that people track ethnic minorities into these programs?
That is not true at all. I do not see that here. The students who come into this class are people who want to learn this trade. It has nothing to do with their ethnic background at all. Many of these young people are out actually trying to make a choice, and others are dictating to them how they're going to run their lives. And you know, it's okay to guide them, but if they choose any field, they should have the right and the privilege to do what they want.
And what would you say to politicians who say, well, we would like to give you funding, auto shop teachers and welding teachers, but how can we make you accountable? What kind of bubble-in test could we possibly give your students to see that you're really teaching them?
A bubble test? What they need to do is track those students when they leave here, find out how many of them are working right away, and then turn around and track those who've got their education that is so important. And I'm not downing education, because obviously we need that, but mainstream America wasn't founded on that. Mainstream America was working with our hands and doing the things that needed to be done.